Dear sons and daughters of planet Earth, it is with great joy that I come here today to convey all my love, my lap, and my support to each of you. So many of you wonder why you are suffering. Sufferings come in so many forms: physical, mental, external, from the life you have, the planet's own suffering. So many ask themselves, why all this? Most of those here listening to me have already learned that they reap what they once sowed. No matter what day that was, the return came, and why does it need to come? All that you emanate or speak, think, and act against anyone or against yourself happens, and in the future it comes back, the first time with the same intensity that it was emanated, to draw attention to something that you provoked. Suppose you don't pay attention and keep repeating or simply ignore what is coming. In that case, it will take on a new force and become more and more intense, so that you pay attention to what it is trying to show you. The feeling you call suffering results from everything you have done previously. It doesn't matter the life, you are getting it back. But unfortunately, many fail to understand this. They think they are wronged, or Father, Mother God is punishing them. They believe that life is being mean to them, and so they manage to continue in this rhetoric for a long time because they cannot admit that they were wrong at some point. The solution to that suffering is to look it in the face and seek learning there. This is the big problem. You don't want to learn. You don't want to admit that you made a mistake and need to correct yourself. It's better to blame others, Father, Mother, God. To blame life, it is more comfortable and easier to continue living the suffering, attributing it to other people, than to look at yourself and see that you made a mistake. This is a critical point in your journey. Some like to suffer. How absurd to think that suffering will bring benefits. Others feel that they will exchange their suffering with Father, Mother, God for something they have committed. I would say that feeling in your own body, in your own life, something that you have provoked has a learning effect. But for a while, not all the time, because life will charge you for what you have done at some point. You don't have to choose to live that way because it will come. So what is essential at this moment? Have a vigilant eye on every attitude, thought, and action, and always ask yourself, is what I am doing, thinking, or emitting good for me and the whole? If the answer is yes, go ahead, and you'll be doing good for yourself and the world. If the answer is no, it's only good for me, then don't do it because you are selfish, thinking only of yourself. And if the answer is no, it will only be good for the whole. Don't do it because you need to come first, not the whole. So understand that suffering is not something Father, Mother, God applauds, nor will it take you to paradise, as many believe. Eternal suffering is a sign that you don't look inside, that you don't admit that you are wrong. Your ego is enormous, so you suffer, and the suffering never ends because it has already settled in you in such a way that you have gotten used to it. But you keep thinking that this suffering is beautiful in the eyes of the Father, Mother, God. God the Father, Mother doesn't want his children to suffer. God the Father, Mother wants everyone happy and proud. Stop putting yourself through the suffering. Instead, admit that you make mistakes. Acknowledge that you will make mistakes tomorrow. And the main thing is to have the conscience not to repeat these mistakes anymore. And this is the cure for your suffering. And I will say something significant. Because of this lack of humility in admitting their mistakes, many begin to suffer in the physical body. The body is the one who pays for all your mistakes because you emanate so much pain, you emanate so much suffering, that the universe gives you back more of what? More pain and more suffering, and your body is the one that receives it all, and you are feeling unjust, undeserving of all this suffering, and you keep asking God the Father or Mother, why? Why do you suffer? Why do you feel pain? And I'll answer, because you emanate it all the time. You don't look inside and realize where you need to change. So then you will only emanate suffering and will always receive more of the same. It's amazing how you can't understand this, that everything that comes into your lives, everything that happens to you, is caused by you. Not by Father, Mother, God, not by punishment, not because someone sent you something evil, because if someone sends you something evil and you are whole and protected, it comes and goes. So if you believe everything and open your doors for evil, it will enter. So what is missing to realize that you don't have to suffer? You can and must give the path to your higher self and ask him to lead you on the right way to remove the pain, suffering, and scarcity. This is an other subject that I prefer to leave for others to talk about. Scarcity and abundance. You have what you emanate, that's all I'm going to say. So my sons and daughters, put an end to suffering. Stop and think about why I'm like this. Ask your higher self for your soul master to show you the reason for suffering and what you need to do to learn about it. And you will succeed. In some cases, healing the physical body is no longer possible. Still, you will live balanced, no longer suffering from chronic pain. The problem will still be there, but it will not be present because you know how to take care of it. You know how to learn a lesson. So what are you waiting for? Is it possible that a magic pill will fall from the sky to cure you of any diseases? I tell you, there are many ways to heal yourself, but remember, everything has a limit. You can be healed, but if you keep the source of the problem, it will come back. And how long will you be allowed to be healed? Because you didn't learn the lesson. You just wanted to be cured, so you wouldn't have to do anything. How far does learning go? Don't expect too much from the universe. The person who has to do it for you is yourself, not a technique, a miracle treatment, or a miracle cue. You need to learn, know, and solve the problem. This is what you need to do. There will be ways of healing in the future. Yes, there are ways of healing. But if you don't heal yourselves in your minds, it all comes back. And how many times will you do the healing treatment? This is not a toy, it will have a limit. So start learning to take care of yourself, treat yourself, and heal yourself, without depending on anything or anyone. Just by your own decisions. The passage to the fifth dimension is not easy. The transmutation of your body is not a simple process. The sicker, the more contaminated, the more internally dirty your bodies are, and the more painful they will be. Understand this, there is nothing we can do. Everything is what it has to be. So start staring, facing your problems. They are dancing in front of you, but you keep looking up, so you don't see them, and then they get bigger and bigger, and you keep looking up, so you don't see them, until one day, they are so numerous and extensive that they overwhelm you, and then it really